afternoon, Poet fans. Welcome to another Poet Sports Report here in October. I know it's been a couple of weeks and people are gearing up for Halloween. I know I am. I'm Lance Franey, joined by Thomas Harrison. Now, Thomas, what are you going to be for Halloween this year?
I haven't given that much thought. Maybe a group of me and my friends are going to portray Sims characters, so just put a little diamond at the top. You know, it's about comfort and style and creativity.
That's a good idea. I like that. Now, going right into Poet Athletics, we've had a lot going on these past couple of weeks. Football, 1-2, 0-2 in conference. They're coming off back-to-back losses to Cal Lutheran University and now Occidental College. They lost 34-24 to Cal Lutheran here at home, and they lost 23-17 this past Saturday to Oxy to lose the shoes the first time in the past 3 years. What have you liked from the Whittier program, and what do you think moving forward they're going to have to do to pull off some victories?
Well, I thought they played their best game against Cal Lutheran. It was a complete performance offensively and defensively. They're forcing turnovers like they have been all season. I was really impressed. Steven Rivera came in off the bench after a bye week, came in and played flawlessly. Thought he did a great job of commanding the offense. What killed us is the quarterback play for Cal Lutheran. Nick Isham came in. He rushed for over 100 yards, threw for over 200, just couldn't have an answer for him. But again, with the Occidental game, they went back to their old pass mistakes, a lot of drop balls, a lot of mental mistakes. I really like what I see out of Justin Vlahos. He struggled with drops early. He's really become the go-to wideout for this team going forward now.
He has. And another big thing also, talking to Todd Strand after the game, fumbles from Marcel Blow and some of the other players, not really remembering what the plays are when they come into these games. They work on them all week long to prepare for the games. But again, the players just forgetting what they are, and those are going to cost the Poets, in these big games that they need to win. So moving forward this coming Saturday, they got the University of Laverne, played a tight game with Oxy this past week. But, homecoming game, a lot of fans going to be in attendance. We're going to have the Poet Pit out there. We have a festival going on from 12:30 to 4:30 Saturday, so make sure you're there for the tailgate. Again, that start's going to be at 5 o'clock p.m. as the Poets look to get their first conference win this coming Saturday. Moving over into men's soccer. Couple big wins these past couple of weeks over Redlands, 1-0. They beat Caltech 6-0 in a very lopsided game, but a very good contest there. But then they end up coming back and tying with Cal Lutheran University 1-1 in a game that should have been theirs, since Cal Lutheran's at the bottom of the rankings right now with Caltech in the SCAG standings. And again, we've seen in the past that the Poets have struggled with the Kingsmen in past years. We lost to them in the first round of the postseason tournament last year, and again, struggling here at home, trying to score goals. And what are they going to have to do?
Well, the soccer team, to me, has been a little bit of a letdown this season. They came in with high hopes, and they all talked about that back line, the defense, the midfield, controlling possession. They really haven't done that. You mentioned the 6-0 victory against Caltech. The offense got going a little bit there. But I really want to see this team control the tempo a little bit more and keep those scores, on the lower side of things. They don't have the greatest attacking forwards, so just keep it low scoring and keep high possession, and those chances will come. Good weekend, and I think going in to the next two conference games, I have a little bit of something to build on, and I look for them to progress as the season goes on.
And again, with the Poets, they've had the opportunities, they've been getting great shots, they have the depth that we've wanted. They just haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities. And moving forward, they've got some tough matches up. They got a home game against Laverne, a road contest against Chapman. They have a road game tonight against Oxy, and that's no easy task. They're much improved from last year. And you've also got Pomona Pitzer at home in their Rage the Cage night. So it doesn't get any easier for the Poets, but they had to win those games, which they needed to. Like, both games now against Cal Lutheran were both ties, and those definitely would propel the Poets into the top 3 spots in the conference standings. And now with these ties, it kind of drops them down a little bit lower, making it a little bit tougher to make the SCAG postseason tournament. Going to women's soccer, again, we've talked about this before. Scoring goals continues to be an issue for the women's soccer team. Lost 1-0 to Pomona Pitzer this past week. Lost 1-0 to Occidental as well in a tough matchup. They lost at the very end. They've had opportunities, but they're lacking those goal scorers. Without Lauren Kai, Madison Shippard, a few other starters that are on the bench due to injuries, I don't know what else they can do, but I guess we're going to be looking forward to next season or something.
Well, it's the same, different week, same narrative. You mentioned the starters out. That's tough for any team to deal with, but maybe get a little bit more creative on offense and just try to ride the ship for a little bit. As you mentioned, maybe look forward to next season. Young team, but they're going to be hungry for next season. But I see them getting a little bit better down the stretch. They might not have the best record at the end of the year, but I look for the offense to come and materialize with chemistry.
And I'm hoping down here with the final few games of the season that they'll be able to get some confidence going into next season or into the off season, where next year they're going to get these starters back. Hopefully Maddie will come back and play because she's taking this year off, and then hopefully in grad school next year she'll come back, or not in grad school, but next year she'll come back and play. And Monica Gerardo hopefully will bring in another strong recruiting class like she did this year. So, a lot to look forward to there, but hopefully they'll gain some momentum, get some goals scored here late in the season, and get some confidence going into that off season. Going into men's water polo, they have definitely gone full tilt from doing well at the Aggie Shootout, a couple big wins, a tight loss to Harvard by 1, a game that they probably should have won. They were named the D3 champions from the Gary Troyer tournament. They went 4-0 with wins over George Washington, Washington and Jefferson, John Hopkins. Some big key wins there. But then they go back the other way at the SoCal tournament, which brings in the best teams in the entire country in all of Division I. And we were invited to take part in that tournament this past weekend. But we ended up losing 4 games. UC Davis, UC Berkeley. We ended up losing to Loyola Marymount yesterday morning. Then we ended up losing to St. Francis of Brooklyn from New York by 1 in the night match. So we went 0 for 4 on the weekend at SoCal. So that's the best tournament that they're going to play in all this year. But again, we're done with non-conference. We now move into conference play starting up this week and the following week. But what are you looking forward to the most watching these guys on the men's water polo team? They are favored to win the Sky Championships right now. Do you think they are prepared?
I do think they're prepared, and like we touched upon the last couple of weeks, it's just the level of competition they're playing. They're playing the best of the best, and they're competing with them. And I think once they get into Sky play, it'll be a lot easier from what they've seen in the beginning of the season. You mentioned they don't shy away from anybody. They'll schedule these teams, and I think it really makes the team a lot tougher and a lot more experienced down the stretch. And I think SCIAC play, we'll see the results, and I think they do take the SCIAC championship this year.
Okay, you've heard it here on WCSN, men's water polo taking the SCIAC championship from Thomas Harrison, but I do have to agree with you too. I'm favoring them as well, and right now, even though they're losing those tight games, they definitely are going to be playing much, easier competition in conference play, which is going to benefit them later on down the road. And a lot of their subs and bench players are going to have that experience against these tougher teams. So when they come against the SCIAC teams, it's going to be a lot easier for them. So that's good to look forward to. Cross country now. SCIAC Multi-Duals is coming Friday. SCIAC Championships a week after that, and then regional. So they're now into the gritty part of their season. Looking forward to the SCIAC. Now, these duels, these championships, these meets now that they're competing in, these now count. These count for everything. Talking to head coach Greg Phillips this past week, he has a runner on the female side coming in, and she's one of his best runners, so she's actually back from injury. Kind of moved her in a little slowly, so she can get ready for this weekend. But he also has a runner on the men's side coming back, who's probably one of his top 3 runners as well. So both of those guys coming in, are they going to make that big of an impact?
Well, I think they do, and we touched upon it's a smaller squad for this Poet team, and injuries could have been a big factor in how this team does. I think once you get your star players back, you're going to see that explosiveness, and I think they do really well in these next couple tournaments. I look for the injuries to hopefully not be a factor in these next couple meets, but I do look for them to do quite well at these next couple competitions.
Going into volleyball now. Okay, they went 1-2 this past weekend at the Leo Invitational. They ended up beating Widner 3-0, but ended up losing tight sets to Nazareth and Endicott to wrap up the tournament. No one made the all-tournament team. They still have some SCIAC games left on the season, but Nazareth and Endicott are both 2 tough teams, but we played them tight. There were no blowout sets. We were right there. Could have gone either way, I feel. But they have a big game against Pomona Pitzer tomorrow night. They have some other games coming on the road and here at home to wrap up the season. Do you still see them as having a shot to make the postseason tournament?
It's tough to say. The team, it's been an issue all season long. It's just finishing games. They've been in every single match this season. They've played great teams really close. They've taken sets. They just can't seem to get over the hump. And I really want to see that from them in these next couple conference games. Show me, that you could finish games, and then we'll talk playoffs. But I think at this point, you got to take it one game at a time and build upon each victory.
So we have a lot of big events coming up this week. We've got the homecoming, like this entire week is going on. We've got Midnight Madness this coming Thursday night from 9 to 10 here in the GAC. That's going to be a fun event. Skits going on, music, DJ. We've got a dance competition in between the teams. We've got, I guess I'm emceeing the event, so that should be fun in itself right there. But we've got fog machine, we've got intros, we got relays, competitions, giveaways. It's going to be a fun night. So that's going to be Thursday, starting off the weekend for homecoming. Then Friday, we have our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We have a few members going into the Hall of Fame induction. Hugh Mendez, we've got Sergio Macias, Robert Frith, and we have the 1976-77 men's basketball team going in as well. So a great induction class going in. Again, that's going to be Friday at 6 p.m. at the La Mirada Holiday Inn. And that's going to, again, occur at 6 o'clock on Friday. And then we move into Saturday. And that's where the fun really is at. We get the homecoming, the alumni coming back. We've got the big game against Laverne at 5 o'clock that day. We have a big homecoming festival on the baseball field from 12:30 to 4:30. So we have a lot going on. We've got alumni games, men's basketball, women's lacrosse, women's basketball. We have it all going on this weekend. So it's just going to be one giant party. I know I'm looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it?
No, I'm vibing off your excitement right now. I think it's going to be a great weekend. I really look forward to calling the game against Laverne. I think the Poets clean up some of their mistakes from the past week and revert to their old selves, and I see us pulling out the victory with all the energy and the fans going at it.
I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, great crowd. It's going to be a lot of fun to be a part of. And that's going to do it here for us in this Poet Sports Report this afternoon. I'm Lance Freeney, joined by Thomas Harrison. We'll catch you in the next couple of weeks where we're going to start delving into the winter sports, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's swimming and diving.